Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about a little bit of a sticky topic, and it has to do with bed fishing. You know, I think everyone I talk to has a little bit of a different opinion on bed fishing. Some people say it's unethical, other people say it's their favorite thing to do. I kind of fall in the middle. I'm personally not one that likes to mess much with bedding fish if it's not in a tournament. And, you know, what I mean by that is if I go out fun fishing and I see a fish on a bed, I'm not going to really try to catch it unless, you know, it's a giant fish or, you know, just one that I'm like, man, I really got to catch for some reason. But the majority of the time, I just keep going by. If it's a tournament and I see a fish, you better believe I'm catching that fish. You know, I enjoy bed fishing and I enjoy doing it in tournaments. But at the same time, I kind of think about it, if it were me, the last thing I want to do is have somebody, you know, dangling around a hamburger while I'm trying to have a romantic evening with my wife. So, you know, so I see both sides, and I kind of have this idea that I think satisfies both sides. And, you know, it's something that I'll do when I am fun fishing and go out and fish for a fish on a bed. And really, for me, bed fishing is all about getting the fish to bite. It's not necessarily about catching the fish, again, unless it's a tournament. If it's a tournament, that's different. But if I'm going out fun fishing, the thrill of sight fishing is getting the fish to bite. So what I'll do is I'll take a hitchhiker, you know, which is just a pigtail or a screw in. And then I'll just screw it in a plastic bait, just like this champ craw right here, which, by the way, phenomenal bed fishing bait. I don't know if you guys have seen these. These have been out for a little bit. They are like the most realistic crawdad looking baits out there. Super cool colors. This one I think is called Mean Craw. Yeah, I mean they're some of my favorite bed fishing baits. But regardless, so like we've talked about in the past, if you're going out and you're practicing for a tournament, I think it's really important not to stick your fish. And one of the things that you can do is, you know, put a corkscrew or, you know, into your worm and just flip that around with no hook. Like that has no hook. And I recommend doing the same thing. If you're going out and you're going to fish for spawning fish and you're just looking, you know, to have fun for the day, this is what I like to do. I just want to see if I can entice that fish into biting. And if I can, that's like a win for me. I don't have to catch a 2-pound male off a bed just to see if I can catch the fish. I just want to see if I can get them to bite. And I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes at me right now, but I feel like this is a happy medium, right? You still get the fish for the fish, but you're not catching him, taking him away from the bed, so he still kind of gets to do his thing. You're harassing him for a little bit, but you're not actually catching him, so he's going to stay there. But the key to all of this that I think goes unnoticed quite a bit of the time is when you take this bait and you're fishing for that fish, you get to identify what works best. You can identify how that fish reacts. You can identify what baits are working better, a certain color, if you're applying scents, all different things. And the key is to relate that over to your tournaments. So what I mean by that is if you're out practicing for a tournament and you come across a bedding fish, you better believe this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to see if I can figure out what bait, what color, you know, what weight on my baits, if there's a scent, if there is something that I can get that fish to react to, that's what I want to know. So that when I come back in the tournament day, if I know that fish would only react to the champ craw, I'm going to put this bait in there. I'm not going to have to go through that cycle of 4 or 5 different baits that finally, you know, I finally figured out this is the bait he wants. I've had instances where certain fish respond better to a scent or a color. And for me, that's what I want to know. So if I come across a fish while I'm practicing for a tournament, I will throw this in there in a heartbeat, knowing I'm not going to catch the fish, but with the idea that if I can figure out what that fish reacted to, when I come back in the tournament day, I'm putting that bait in there. I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll put notes into my Lowrance units that say, you know, the champ craw in HD mean craw color, you know, with an 1/8 ounce weight, no scent. So that when I show up, you know, I'll probably have 5, 6, 7 different rods rigged with the baits that I was able to get those fish to bite. I'll know which bait to put in there. And in my experience, I have found that I'm more efficient catching those fish off the bed because now I know what bait got them to trigger from my practice. So, you know, it's a simple little tip. It's one of those things that makes all of us a better sight fisherman, but it also makes you better in your tournaments. You know, I am a strong proponent that one bait doesn't necessarily work across the board. Unless you're fishing smallmouth embeds, half the time they don't care what it is. You could throw a tin can down there and they'll bite it. But if you're talking largemouth, they can be very picky, and it's important to be switching up with different types of baits, different presentations, and you'll find that you've become a better bed fisherman by doing this. And again, it's almost a more ethical approach to bed fishing. You don't have to catch the fish when you go out fun fishing or in practice. You can just see what they respond to, what makes them bite, and you'll become a better bed fisherman and a better tournament fisherman from it. So guys, take this simple tip and apply it. It's good for everyone. It's good for you, and it's good for fish, and it's good for future generations of fish as well. So guys, if you enjoy the video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you think I'm crazy, leave a comment. I like reading them all. I get lots of people yelling at me for opinions of mine. I'm sorry if I offend anyone. It's my opinion. So guys, you know, if you enjoy the channel, subscribe to it. I appreciate it. We'll have lots more tips like this. We got videos coming out every day. Thanks for tuning in. Go get you some of these. These champ craws are legit.